Are you familiar with Masaru Emoto's work in water crystals?
Yeah.
So, there's a wonderful book, The Hidden Messages in Water, that Masaru Emoto work about human thoughts and consciousness impacting the crystallization of water. When it's frozen, it looks certain ways, and it could either be this beautiful crystal that is very symmetrical and looks gorgeous, or it could be this very dirty, nasty looking thing. If you imbue it like tap water alone, would be something that you'd look at and think that's dirty swamp water. And that's what the crystallizations do. And you state, I read this, that water can memorize information just as a computer.
Correct.
Can you go into that a little bit? Because I have learned through understanding alchemy and spagyric medicine and European biological medicine that water is, in fact, an incredible carrier of information. And at the bottom level, if you go all the way down to what guides us and what guides us towards health, regeneration, it's information. If you have the wrong information, the cells don't know what to do, they can't regenerate, and you go into a disease state. If you have the right information, they regenerate, you have normal functioning, you could heal yourself better. And again, if we're 60 to 70% water, that information better be in there. So can you go into that, how water can memorize information a little bit, and how these water chargers help in that aspect?
Okay, so I can tell you two things. First of all, there was an experiment run by Professor Luc Montagnier, together with the Italian staff of physicists like Emilio Del Giudice. He was another big scientist that worked with water. And there is a good movie on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube about this experiment where they put some a part of DNA in water, and they started diluting until there was no DNA left in the water, and then they were able to transform the signal of that water in a computer file, and they sent it by email to a computer in Italy. And in Italy, they were able to put the information of the file into water again, and they got a very large chunk of the DNA that was firstly in the water in France. So this was an amazing documentary, just proving that there is information in water. What also Professor Del Giudice found was that the water was able to synchronize itself in what he was calling the state of how do you call it? Just a moment, I'm losing the word. I'm just finding the word.
You could say it in Italian.
Okay, yeah, there was the coherent state of water.
Okay,
where water are like synchronized. They are in a moment where all their movement, all their state is perfectly synchronized. And I have a friend. She's an excellent shiatsu teacher, and she's a physicist too. And she was also an assistant of Professor Del Giudice. And what she's saying is that's how all the Chinese meridians work. Because there are no meridians. If we take a section of our body, we cannot find the Chinese meridians. Mm-hmm. But the meridians are made from this moment of coherence of water. And so information can travel through meridians. And that's how Chinese and Oriental medicine work. So that's a very interesting thing. And it's interesting seeing how modern science is putting things together, and everything is going in the same direction.
It's very true that, we're just catching up right now. I was actually at a meeting. I was lucky enough to be at a meeting in Paris with Professor Montagnier and some quantum physicists around a table. Amit Goswami, some big name theoretical and quantum physicists, and they got into that discussion about water information, and it was so clear to them that this is, of course, water carries information, of course, and they proved that through that experiment you just told me. And he was doing lots of studies. I mean, and here's the thing: they're proving it now, but traditional Chinese medicine knew about this. You look at something as ancient as homeopathy; it's just information. You're diluting stuff, and you're just trying to get the information. And you look at any kind of DNA, what is it? It's information. How do we know to have 5 fingers instead of 4, when we're growing in a womb? That's just information. How do cells interact with each other and know exactly what to do? Billions, trillions of processes every single second that keep you alive. Information.